Hello, Flosstube friends. Welcome back to another video here at Wendy in Neverland, where we talk about cross-stitch things as well as other things that are going on in my life, whether that's stuff I'm doing outside, in my yard, whether that's other activities I go and do, kind of, just a little catch-all of everything that's happening, but mostly cross-stitch. So if that's what you are here to see, then welcome. I just remembered I don't have any special welcome friend names this time. I forgot to look for them and write things down for that. Just kind of totally, there's a lot going on in my head right now, so it just totally got skipped. If it's a little echoey, I am sorry. We are in my son's former bedroom. And if you watch my channel, you know he moved out a couple months ago. 21, he's ready to be out on his own, which is good because he needs to be out on his own. But yeah, it's kind of a bare room. There's a few things in here, but it's pretty bare, so there's really nothing to dampen the echo. But there's a lot going on in my house, so really this is the only place that I could do this right now. So unfortunately, we have to live with a slight, empty sound. All right. It's kind of a cloudy, foggy day out today, even though I'm getting enough light from the windows because we have giant windows. That helps a lot. We've had some sun. It's been pretty much in the 50s. Sometimes it's dropped down into the 40s, and a couple of days we got up into the 60s in the last month. So it's kind of just the average for us right now. Upcoming plans next month, and I might mention something again at the video because who knows if I'll remember about saying this. Next month, at the beginning of the month, we are going out on vacation to Florida. Nice, sunny, warm Florida. Yes. So yeah, that'll be fun. I will probably do a video kind of the same time frame as for the month anyway, as I do normally. It might be just slightly later, but it won't be too bad. And with February being pretty short, it's okay if there's a bit of a gap. The fun thing is that I will be able to share all the fun things that happen on vacation and all that when we come back. Alrighty, so with that, let's get into some fun stuff that I did this month. Yes, February was a short month, so it feels like it came a little faster. It's kind of like birthdays. When they roll around, you're like, wow, I can't believe another year has come. But throughout it, you're like, wow, this is kind of dragging on. Will the year finally ever end? Is my birthday going to roll around again? Or the seasons, is summer ever going to get here again? That kind of thing. Yeah, this is the same thing with the videos. It's like, wow, it seems like I have a lot that I need to remember to tell people. And yet, when it comes time to do it, it's like, wow, I can't believe a month has gone by already. So, that's kind of, I'm of two minds about this. It's like, I like having it where it's not quite so often, like every 2 weeks or whatnot. But then I also feel like, am I going to forget to tell you something that's happened or that I've done? Or it is what it is, isn't it? Okay, so let's get into, I think I'll do some purchases first. I got a few things. It felt like as I was pulling out, it's like, did I get more? But I think I might have gotten more things for personal things, not stitchy things. So there's a few other things that wouldn't be in this video. I did a little bit of stash and load shopping again. I try not to do very much, but I happen to be scrolling through these and I thought, oh, these are really, really cool. I like these a lot. So they are patterns. Here's the first one. I like geometric things, so this really is something that really speaks to me, and I like greens, browns, blues, all that kind of shading. It also reminds me of kind of quilt tops, so this would be more of a randomness to it. It's not necessarily a specific pattern, kind of a little more random, but yeah, I like that a lot. And this is, yeah, the Carolyn Manning Designs When Stars Collide. So that's why it's a little mismatched kind of all over. And I did get one more, and it's this one. Isn't that pretty? Those blues and greens. I love them. So yes, the title of this is Turquoise. It is a Carolyn Manning design as well. This one comes with this big one. From what I can tell, it comes with this big pattern and then 4 other smaller patterns. So you can choose to make a small one or a big one if you want. The other one, When Stars Collide, did not have that option. But yeah, I really like this. So pretty. So pretty. Okay, so those are the Stash and Loading ones. Now, I had ordered another pattern, I don't know, months ago, and they warned us beforehand that it is taking a while for them to get the pattern. Be patient, it'll come. And so yeah, it's been quite a few months, probably, I'm guessing at least 3, and I just don't know for sure how long it is. This picture is going to be a little bit hard for you to see what it looks like. You're kind of going to get a flavor of it, but if you're really interested, you can go look it up and then kind of get a closer up view of it. It is a chatelaine. It's called the Japanese Moss Garden. Okay, so there it is. You really need to be able to zoom in to see all the details. There's so much going on this. So you have all the gates here. You've got, let me see if I can figure out all the different things. There's 4, under the gates, there's 4 different ponds. They're all different. There's something else. Seems like there's some other things that are different too. Oh, the lanterns by the gates, all 4 of them are different. There's some things that are going to be the same. Like I think these areas over here are going to be the same. I'm not 100% sure on that. I will change, I believe it's the little statues here, those 4 statues. I will change those. There's a rock garden in front of, for this center part, that's like a rock garden, the brownish area, the raked gardens. But yeah, it's just, there's so much going on here. It's so pretty. So pretty. Who knows how long that's going to take. I haven't even begun to get the materials for this. As if you've ever done a chatelaine or if you've ever looked at it, you know that there's a ton of things. Lots and lots of flosses. You got to have a big enough piece of fabric because it's pretty big. But yeah, a lot of specialty flosses especially. Yeah, so that is I can't wait to get to that. I finally got this. This is spring delivery. So if you've seen this before, this is, this will go with the other delivery one. So there's a harvest delivery, a summer delivery, you know, all that kind of stuff. Plum Street sampler. But yeah, I finally got it. I just kind of have been dragging my feet and not really getting around to it. So that'll be nice to have with the other ones. But yeah, that's pretty. Another one I did. So I'm trying to remember who I watched that said something about this. It might have been Joyfield Stitcher. It might have been somebody else. I can't remember who I was watching, and they had said they were going to be doing this, and I'm like, I think I want to do this. We're going to be going, so hey, why not? Without even really looking at a whole bunch of the details, I decided to do this, and that is the Fab 50 Stitch Along. Okay. This is Abby Sue Designs, who is doing the stitch along portion. So she's the one who has the pattern and everything. There is, and of course I don't have it written down, there is somebody who is dyeing fabric to match this project that you could order from. The problem is the fabric isn't coming until like May. Now, and I'm not sure why they're starting so late in really starting the SAL. The SAL doesn't start until like June, and they're going to release 2. So here's just give you an idea of this. So you have right now the pattern for this outline here and all these outline boxes. So you have the pattern for that. So you can go ahead and start stitching that part. But for all of the individual, these are little, what the statues look like. They have 50 statues throughout Disney World, throughout the 4 parks that are, I don't even know where they're all placed. In honor of the 50th anniversary. And so that's what this is based on. Okay. So she is basing it off those 50 statues. Or 50 characters, I should say. Some of them are together. Yeah, the sale doesn't start until June 2nd. So I'm not sure why we're waiting until then. I mean, yeah, you can go ahead and stitch up those borders and stuff, but it still seems like it's a long way off. And then they will release like 2 characters per week. I don't know how detailed they are, but that's some fast stitching in my book. This thing is huge. This thing is huge. I don't think it says on this main paper how big it is, but I've seen people's stuff and it's not small by any means. So I went ahead and ordered the fabric that the person is dyeing to match this. And like I said, that's not even gonna get here till May. So I can't even start the border yet. Yes, I could potentially cancel that, but I don't want to. I'm just gonna wait and I will stitch the border when that fabric gets here. It is what it is. The nice thing about waiting is that you get to hear people's other ideas of what they've done. So yes, you do see other fabric choices or ideas. People are throwing out ideas of where you can get fabric that would match really well with this. I don't even know what the fabric looks like that is going to be dyed. They just said it's a match for this. That's all I know. So you get to see their fabric choices if they're doing something different, but you also get to hear any problems that have come up or changes they've made. And one of the changes that I really like is in this gold border, somebody is using Krynic with it. Give it a little sparkle. I like that. Krynic doesn't scare me. It doesn't bother me to stitch with it. So I think I'm going to do that. So I'm kind of glad that I've kind of waited and not started that, jumped on it right away, because I would have. Knowing me, I probably would have. So that's going to be a fun one to do. And it'll be fun to compare the statues, because we are actually going to Disney World. Compare the statues to what the images will be. That'll be a lot of fun. Okay, now, because I'm going to be stitching that, and because it's going to be a big piece, I wanted to have a bag to go with it. It's going to take a while, so it's not like, you know, it's going to be done in a month. I want to have something to put this in that kind of goes with it, the theming. So I did some searching and looking, and I found some fabric. Each image is a little bigger than I thought, but I'm still okay with it because I need a big enough bag that it will hold things on the Q, you know, the Q-snap will fit nicely in there along with all of the other threads, and it'll just be kind of fun. And it's going to be slightly different. I'm not going to make it the way I normally make my bags. Okay, so isn't that just great? So you can see it's pretty big. It's pretty big. So I probably will only make it as wide as the image. So it won't be like from here to here. It won't be that wide. I'm going to come in. So maybe closer to, I don't know, 15 inches or so. 15, 16 inches wide. The top and bottom are going to be a little harder not to stitch that or make it that high. I could potentially make it a little shorter, but I don't know. Since it's going to be more tote bag-ish with a zipper on it, then I probably will just leave it at this height. So it'll be a good long one, but it'll be so cute. And I can use it for other things once I'm done with this, since it's going to be tote bag-like. So yeah, that will be fun. I got some fabric that coordinates with it. It's doesn't have the print on it. I will use that for the back. This is also going to have kind of a thin, probably about that wide of a gusset. So it's going to have some depth to it so that everything fits in there well. And then, like I said, I can use it as a tote bag type of situation afterwards. The fabric that I got came with 4 of those images. If you are doing this Fab 50 pattern, or even if you're not and you just like this, and you want to have one of these bags, let me know. I will gladly, do stuff like that. Obviously you don't have an image in your brain of what it's going to look like when it's finished. So I will probably list it on my Instagram once I make the bag, and I'm just kind of gathering a few more things before I'm able to start with the bag. I'm really close to being able to work on it possibly this week. And then I can put it on Instagram so you can see what it looks like and see if that's something that you would like or not. So yeah, this is, I'm not in a huge rush because I haven't gotten my pattern or my fabric and all the other stuff. So it's kind of like, I'm not in a huge rush to get it done. So if you're interested without even seeing what it's going to look like, just, shoot me a message and we can schedule something that way, and not even if you haven't seen it. If you've seen my bags, you kind of know what I do, how I do them, and not an issue there if you know what kind of quality I have. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where to put everything. Set things down. I think I have one other new thing, but I'm going to show you that as part of my whips. So we'll get to that afterwards. So with that, let's start with, I haven't finished. It's not an FFO. I wanted to. The fabric I was thinking of using is not quite big enough. So it's kind of like, I don't want to take the time to dig through all my fabric right now and get this done to have it ready for this video. So I will probably also work on it this week. Hopefully. I always make more plans than I can possibly accomplish in a week. Okay, so the one that I did was this. So yes, Memorial Day is coming up, so you do have kind of a patriotic theme, but 4th of July as well, which is what this is named after. Mouse's 4th of July Ride by Tiny Modernist. Very cute, and it didn't take very long to do it. So I will show you what I did, and then I will tell you stuff I did. So you can see, here's the size of my hand. So you can see how big it is. It's not super big. If there's noise going on in the other part of the house, I try to stop the video. So we'll see how many times I have to do that. So the one thing that I did change was it had listed, I believe it was for the red. The DMC was 3801. I don't know that I had, they give a week's option too, which is Liberty. I don't think I had any Liberty. So the DMC that I had was more of a tomatoey kind of red, if that's a description so it wasn't really a red, a deeper red. And that's what I wanted. So it would not have been this. I know it looks like it might be a tomatoey red, but it's not. This is actually a nicer, deeper, richer red. So I changed that, and I am using Weeks Candy Apple. So it is much more of a red than a tomato red. And I like it a lot better. So that is one change that I made. Something you can consider if you're doing that or wanting to do it. Like I said, I didn't have the Liberty, so I don't know what that looks like in comparison to the DMC. Okay, let's move on to some other whips that I'm going to show you. I'm actually going to remember to show you my Haid, and I did work on it for just a little bit. I've kind of not really gotten into it in the last couple of months. And so when March hit, I just bucked down. I'm like, I have got to get working on this again. So I am going to show you, in case you forgot or you're new here, this is what I am doing. Haid is Heaven and Earth Designs. This is the Treasure Hunt bookshelf pattern. So you can see there is a lot going on in that thing. So I will put in a video of the before and then a video of how much I progressed, because as I've mentioned, that thing is just too big for me to hold up and to show you. So I have to make a separate video while it's sitting down somewhere else. Okay, so here is what I accomplished, which doesn't look like a whole lot. So more of this got filled in up here, and then this obviously is all new too. But I mean, as you can see, it's just teeny tiny stitches, so there's far more in there than you probably realize. Plus, I am, in order to keep myself on track, I am limiting how much I do per night. So I mean, at the most, it's usually an hour. So within the few days that I have been working on this, probably about 5, that's how much I have gotten done so far. So even though it's not a lot, I'm hoping that it will, you know, keep me on track and keep me focused to keep doing this throughout March. And I will have a lot more progress to show you next time. Okay, some of the other things that I have been doing, and I know that I've mentioned them before. I'm trying to find out my stuff here. So there's a little bit of noise. We're going to see how well this goes. This one was the tools of the trade. And I showed you this last time, the little bit that I had done. And that, I've gotten quite a bit done. I'm almost finished for the amount that I'm going to do. I'm trying to find this front of it here. And that's this. So it's not I'm using the emblems, the different images in there, but I'm not putting them in the exact same spot, and I am not using all of them. In the pattern, as one of the options, I tell you to put a button in the center so that when you have it all filled with its fluff and the cardboard backing to pull it down, you have a dimple, an indent. I don't know how much you can see that. So there's the button. And as you pull it down and secure it, when you're finished, it, you know, gives that dimple where the button goes down, and you know, you still have that puffiness where the filling is. So I will put that button in there. I'm still going to put my initials somewhere and the year. So that's the only thing I need to stitch still. So I have a needle with a little bit of thread. This is a needle threader. This is like a floss holder, a fancy one, scissors, a strawberry, a thimble. So those are the images that I am going to use for this. And yes, I do have a small one of these dishes. It's not as big as what they call for because I wanted a smaller one. And that's why I've had to use only some of these and in a little bit different arrangement. But yeah, that's getting really close. So in case you wanted to know, this fabric is, picture this plus, it's a 40 count. And I'm doing it 1 thread over 1. So it's a tight stitch. And this is Newcastle Linen Dwarf is what it's called. That's the color. And the floss that I'm using is from Gentle Arts. It's called Freedom. So it's a nice dark blue. So it's dark blue. It goes very nice with this fabric. Very nice. So that is what I am doing for that. And I showed you that last time. So that shouldn't be anything fairly new. All right, the next one, the temperature butterfly chart. This is from Stitching Mommy. This is the temperatures. I take the high temperature for the day. You know, every single day, because as you can see, this is 1 month and it has enough spaces for 31 days in January. So each day has a temperature that you will take, however you're going to do it, whether you're going to do the low temperature, the high temperature, the average temperature, whatever you're going to choose to do. And that's how you fill that in. I also did change my colors and the increments that it goes up into. So on their chart, it was more like every 3 degrees it would change color. And I changed it so that it went up every 2 degrees so that my floss would change a little bit more often, hopefully. So that's the way I did it. And I am also using the that way, because the first time she sent it out, she had you stitching, I think it would be, you'd go all the way down one wing and then come up the other two wings. And then she came out with another option of kind of going back and forth. And so you had it more gradually decreasing as the month went by. That is the idea that I went with, is I wanted it to just kind of be going down the whole way. So I jump back and forth for each day. And show you, I'm going to put some paper behind this so it doesn't wash it out too badly. There it is. So clearly I've got a lot more blues with kind of some purplish looks to it. You can see you had all this. I think this was a really cold day, so it was kind of more of a pinkish, I guess, going into a pink. Over here, these were the days where we had warm days. So we had some warm days around there. I find it very amusing that they just happen to be opposite of each other when those two warm days hit. That was fun. And then we're getting into March. Now, the pattern calls for you to do them 4 crossed. So this would be April over here. Normally once the month hits, that month that I'm currently working on, I will begin the outlining for the next month. But the problem is I have to move the Q-snap in order to do that. Well, I don't want to move the Q-snap in order to do the outlining, and I could still work on filling this in. And then once April hit, I need to start filling that in, but then I can't start outlining this for the next month. So what I'm doing is in the first half of March, I will finish this butterfly, then I will move the Q-snap over, and I can do the outline for April as I continue to fill in for March's colors. And I'll have to do that once I get this row. I'll do the same thing. When I get to this butterfly here, I will stitch the outline for the one that will be down here, then move the Q-snap, finish the outline for the butterfly over here, and that way I'm not moving it quite as often. But yeah, it's so pretty and I love it. It, like I've mentioned before, it reminds me of stained glass. So pretty. So there, that is what I am doing for that. And there's several people who are doing this. Jody's Creative Corner is the one that I know of the most. I think actually Joyfield Stitcher said she was doing it, but she's doing it for a past year. She went back and found out all the temperatures for a past year, and she's doing that. I think it has something to do with her daughter, whether it's the year of her birth or something. I can't remember what she said. So there are several people who are doing this. It's kind of a stitch along, kind of a knot. It's not like you don't know what the pattern's going to look like when you, I mean, you kind of don't because you don't know what color you're going to end up using for the temperature, but you have the whole pattern ahead of time. Okay, another one that I'm going to show you. I've got to dig around here and get some of this stuff out. Let's see if I can find my main sheet for this. Hold on for technical difficulties. Is the Sleeping Beauty. So I have showed you this. The last time I was almost done with the main stitching part of the dress. The last time I showed you. This is Brooke's Books. So BROOKE''S BOOKS. That's the one who does this pattern, as well as a bunch of other princess ones. And as I mentioned, I don't think I'm going to do the crown or the little fairies, but I am going to attempt to get these flowers done here. So it's a bundle of wired ribbon and such, and so we'll see. I'm going to try to do that. The other thing I'm not doing is, you can see that there is some Krynic that acts as like leaves and vines for these flowers in this part of the dress. I am not going to do that either. I really like just the prettiness of it without those. There is some outline and stuff up here, and I am doing that with the Krynic and the beads, but not probably for this main part of the dress. Okay, now I have to take it off of my Q-snap because I forgot to do that ahead of time, because you won't see the full dress otherwise. So Once again, hold for technical difficulties. All right, let me get something behind it so it doesn't wash out. It is very pretty. I like it a lot. It's so pretty. So there it is. There it is. So there's the center part of the dress. And as you can see, it's just a beautiful, it's like almost if you had a printed flower on material. Let me get a hold of this a little bit better. I just think it looks really pretty without it. It's cleaner. It doesn't get muddled by potential lines. I just really like the look of it a lot better. And the center of each of those flowers does have a cry-neck stitch. It's not showing up as well here, but it does. And then all of this here and going up on the sides is cry-neck. There is some cry-neck up in her waist area, kind of the drop waist. There's some, it looks, it's more like just swirlies and stuff. So this is a gold and this is more of a pink right in here. This is all beads. These are beads. They are on a pretty, really soft pink bead. There is some another pink cry-neck. It's a little darker. Well, let me see, is it the same? No, it's the same color. Rose on each side over here, outlined. And then a little bit beads. There's some of the gold cry-neck in here, and then some beads for her top of her dress. So it is really, really pretty. I really, really like it. And then we'll just get that bouquet of flowers and the ribbon on there, and I think we'll be done. So it's real close to being finished. Really close. All right, the next one that I'm doing as a web, but it's a new start. So kind of like the Mouse's 4th of July, that was a new start, but it's already finished. I finished it within that month. But this is a new start, not finished by any means. So it's this. Madame Lafille. And down here you got the name Hanami. And my husband took his phone and used the translator. So you just put your phone to capture this image over it and it will tell you what it says in English. And it says cherry blossom viewing is what it means. That's what Hanami means. So very, very pretty. I really, really like this. Again, I did change up. I'm not using the exact fabric that they called for. I don't know, unfortunately. Oh, I didn't bring it with me. I'm sorry, but I'm not sure what color fabric I'm using. It's much more of a smoky color, kind of gray. It's a gray, a bluish gray is more of what you would call it. So mainly gray with kind of blue hints to it. I didn't want the really blue on it like this. I wanted something a little different, and with this mottled look to it, it's so pretty. So there is how much I've done so far. As you can see, it's got a lot of color changes just in this alone. It doesn't really show up much on the picture, but it sure does change a bit. There's a lot of colors going on in here as well. Believe it or not, there's quite a bit of color changes in this banner. The wood, move my little string here. The pole that's holding all of this. So we're getting there. We've got a lot done, but it's slow going. It's slow going. So I'll show you all the other things I still need to do. So you can see where the banner is. I will get down to that fish soon, but I still have the tea stuff, the branch, and all the other little parts that add to it. So I really, really like this. I think I was watching 911 Stitcher and she showed, it's not this one, but it was a different Japanese kind of pattern. And I really liked it. And I thought, I'm going to go look that up. And as I did, it also, at the bottom of the pages, a lot of times they'll give you other ideas of things that are similar that you might be interested in. This was one of them. And I liked this one better than the one that she had picked out. Even though the other one was lovely, I just was drawn to this more. So that's why I got this one instead. But yeah, it's very pretty. And I am slowly chugging away on it. Alrighty, I think we're going to move to some bags now. So we'll get to that here. Okay, I'm getting a little warm, so I put my hair up. Last time I think I had 1 or 2 bags is all. I can't remember exactly what it was. I didn't have a lot because I didn't want to try to flood y'all with so many, and that you could just kind of go back and see past ones as well, and then maybe add, if you want more than one, you can add on that way. So it's, sometimes you have to wait a little bit longer before you find all the ones you might want, but you know, of course you could always just order one. That's okay. So yeah, I've got a lot of really cute ones. So let's start with this one. So cute. I love this stuff. So cute. So in this one, we have a giraffe and a zebra. Here is the needle, or not needle minder, the zipper fob. You can tell it's got a little pink flower, some pink and green beads. This one has a pink zipper, and then there's that. Now, in this video, there's going to be a lot of options with the bags. So, yeah, I can make it with a different color zipper to match. There's lots and lots of colors in the flowers and spots and everything. So if you want something that's more orange or more green or more blue or purple, you can have those colors. And I do have other colored flowers as well, and lots of different colored beads. So I would coordinate whatever you want to have that with. As addition to that, we have lots of different images. Now, this one I did differently. You can't tell as much because the bag is so small, but I did it in strips. So this part from here to right about up here is a strip of animals. And down at the bottom, this is all a different fabric. And at the top, if I were to unzip this, you can see that it's also that fabric at the top, okay? That's just the way this pattern with the animals comes. It comes as strips on the bolt. So in order to make that work, I thought, oh, I can put this other fabric with it that coordinates, and that way you can choose what kind of animals you want. All right, let me get my stuff to cooperate. So not only do we have different animals, we have different size animals. So if you were thinking, here, I'll show you the one we've got right now. So there's the one with the giraffe, the zebras. There's also a little lion cub there, as well as one with a crown. We got a rhino, okay? So those are all just mainly their heads. We can also do stuff like this. Got a hippo, lion, elephant, giraffe, look like, I'm not sure, meerkat or something. And then we've got some more of these. So now we have the hippo and a monkey, as well as the meerkat. And we've got the giraffe, an elephant, meerkat, and in the smaller size. Lots of options. If you want one of these bags, if you want this is a 7x9. If you want a bigger one, you will still get the strip. You'll just have more of this stripe fabric at the top of the bottom that you can see. So that's how it works. You will need to let me know which animal you want. If you want the big size or the smaller size in animal shapes. Not, so do you just want their head or do you want their full body? As well as what size bag you want and what zipper color you want, and then I will coordinate this fob to go with it. So lots of things going on. I am so sorry if that's confusing to you. I hope it's not. Okay, the next one has a little, let's do one that's not quite so complicated. They're gnomes. They're gnomes with wings catching the honey. Is that hysterical or what? Oh my gosh. So there's the back. Nice little fabric that goes with it. So our zipper fob is a bee, and what I was trying to get the idea of is this is like a big drop of honey that is dripping honey down towards the bee. That was my inspiration thought. So yes, there we go. Our gnomes, fun gnomes. Who doesn't like gnomes? Okay, and then we've got another one that's got a few more options to it. Fun, springy birdhouse kind of stuff going on there. Lots of birds. This one has a yellow floral backing to it. And then we have beads with a little bird on there. I've got green. This is kind of a purple, a little bit of, I mean, it's mainly purple. And then I've got that pretty yellow bead in there as well. So it kind of coordinates with what we're seeing here. Okay, again, this is so far I've shown you only 7x9 bags. Okay, what you can choose is a couple things. I have lots of different kinds of birdhouse teapots to choose from. So you can decide which kind of birdhouse you would like. And as you're trying to do this, once you tell me you would want one of these bags, we can private message, DM, direct message kind of stuff, and you can talk to me about it that way. The other thing is, I kind of wanted to mix it up and give you a little bit more variety of backing, because I actually only had, so I thought, well, maybe I can use a lot of different kinds of extra fabrics that I have. So this fabric, I only had enough for this. So if you want that backing, that's the only fabric you can get. And then I pulled out some other fabrics that I had that matched, that were coordinated to the fabric, the main fabric, regardless of what part you picked, you probably can use these. It's all of these. So I do have one that's kind of got that red color to it, and then lots of green options. These greens are all in there in various places. So even though it looks like, wow, you just kind of threw up all kinds of colors there, they're there. I made sure that they actually looked okay with them. They do have varying sizes. I'm not sure right off the top of my head how big of a bag I could make, because this is going to determine what size I can make the bag on. Because I've got plenty of the birdhouses, but this will determine what size I can make. So again, you would have to let me know, unless you want the yellow one in that size that I have, you'll have to let me know which size you want, as well as which teapot birdhouse and the backing. We may have to determine the size after we talk about the backing though. Okay, and the last one. So I actually had 4 today. Oh, and I forgot to bring the other thing with me, but I'll give you an idea. A little more Easter related. Now this is a very big bag because this is for a specific person who ordered this size. So no, I don't necessarily need to make it this size. And I may photograph this one, but you can order them in smaller sizes as well. All right, so very pretty. I'll show you. There's lots of, it's the same image, but lots of different sizes. So you can see this is a really big one. Kind of got a little bit smaller one here, and then a smaller image here, but they're all pretty much the same image. Okay, and I put pink or purple with this to match with the bow, and because of the person who's getting it. And I love this back. I love this back. It's so pretty, so pretty. Now, knowing the person that I made this for, this is why I chose this zipper fob. I have another option if you would like. So this one is got the purple and this kind of this bluish green color for the beads, and then a cross, because Easter for many of us is about Christ. So that's what I used. Okay, I do have, it's a ceramic bead. It's a 3D type bead that's a bunny. It's not super defined. It's more painted than actual. It's got a little bit of the shape, but it's more painted. It is pink though, so it's not going to be brown like this. But I mean, you do have some pinks in here, so it's not like it's totally. And if you really, really wanted, I mean, I don't know that I would want to change this because it matches very well with this, and there really isn't any pinks back here. So that's an option of having a different fob if you really wanted it. So yeah, that's the bag. So those are the bags. 4. 2 of them are a little more complicated. Gotta mix things up around here, make things fun, you know? Yeah. Okay, I think that is everything. I have no idea how long this video is because it got stopped and started a few times, so I have no idea how long this will be. But thank you for joining me and coming along on this lovely journey with me for today. I hope you are having a wonderful spring, if that is, well, nearly spring. I know for us, technically, spring doesn't start till March 20th, which if you live in a snowy region, you're lucky if you have spring by March 20th. Out here, our daffodils are already blooming in full bloom. Some of the trees, the flowering ones, are starting to bloom. So yeah, we're kind of right in there with spring starting. But yeah, I hope you're having a lovely springish kind of season, that you have a nice little month of March. And I will see you when we come back from our vacation in a month. And with that, I will say bye and have a great day. Bye.